Hey, I know you. It's me, Mike Hot-Pence. I'm back. These are my legs. Woo! It's been a long time since I've spoken to you. It was 100 days ago. The last time I recorded one of these videos was the day of the inauguration. I'm back in Washington, D.C. today for the People's Climate March. I did it earlier today. It was a great event. It was really sunny and really hot. It was inspiring. It was perspiring. I'm a little bit pink. I'm a little bit sweaty. I'm a little bit stinky. But you can't smell me, and that is good. So 100 days. I don't know what it's been like for you, but for me, wow. It has been a long haul. There's been some good days, there's been some bad days, but it's tough. It is very true what they say. We are in a marathon. And by the measure of a marathon, 100 days is like mile 1.8. So I have news for you. We have a ways to go. Marathons are 26.2 miles. I know that because I used to run marathons back in the day when these knees were a lot stronger and younger. And I learned a couple of lessons, and I thought that some of them might apply to the marathon that we find ourselves in now. So here goes. Lesson number 1. Distance is more important than speed. That is Marathon 101. You have to pace yourself. Nobody gets a medal for being out in front at the beginning of mile 2 if by the beginning of mile 18 you're face down in the pavement. Whatever it is you like to do, however you have chosen to respond to the current state of affairs in Washington, whether that's emails or postcards or phone calls, figure out what you can do and figure out how you can sustain it over the next 3.5 years. That's right, 3.5 years. It's a long time. At a base minimum, 2 phone calls a day is great. Call your representatives, call your senators. It really is the best way of making your voice heard, because the first thing your reps do when they walk through the door of the office is ask how many phone calls, how many positives, how many negatives. So start out with that. If you can do more, great, but at the very least 2 phone calls, do it. Lesson number 2. Routine is your friend when you are training for a marathon. If you have 5 training days a week, you have to set up when you're going to do those runs, whether it's 7 a.m. or noon or 6 p.m. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is you wake up in the morning, you try to figure out where you're going to fit your training in the day, you put it off to the afternoon, you put it off to the evening, you put it off to the next day, you finally get to race day and you haven't done any preparation at all. So again, whatever it is you've chosen to do, pick a time of day to do it and stick to that time. Better yet, if you can fit it into a routine that you already have, do that. If you commute to work on a bus or train or a subway and you can do some postcards then, perfect. If you go to the gym during lunchtime and you hop on the elliptical and you can grab your phone and make a couple of phone calls then, wonderful. 2 birds with 1 stone. So set your schedule, stick to it. Finally, lesson number 3, buddy up. Find a friend to support you, to keep you honest, to inspire you when you don't have inspiration. The last marathon that I ran about 15 or 16 years ago was in San Diego. It was a brutally hot day. I don't do well in the heat when I'm running. I don't do well in the heat when I'm not running. It was about mile 20. I just stopped. I went to the side of the road. I actually considered just walking off the course and going home. There was a guy who had also stopped. He was a couple of feet away. He walked over. He said, "Hey, you look like you're having a tough time. I'm having a tough time. We don't know each other, but why don't we help each other get through the race? So let's start running. If one of us needs to stop, the other person will stop. We'll walk for a bit. We'll start running again. If one of us needs to stop, the other person will stop. We'll just keep on doing that. If we need to do that 50 times to make it through to the end of the race, so be it. But we're going to make it through to the end of the race." And we did. We got to mile 26. The last 0.2 miles, he got a burst of energy. He said, "Hey, I'm going to take off and I'm going to try to sprint the rest of the way." I never saw him again. But he's the reason why I made it through the race, and maybe I'm the reason he made it through the race. Who knows? But the point is we both made it through to the end. So find your buddy. It's going to help you in the long run. No pun intended. I'm going to go take a shower, which is a good thing. Stay strong, be awesome. Thanks for your support, and keep up the good fight.